Hello, 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 hello. It's been a while since I actually made a proper ASMR video, but tonight, I'm going to be actually making one. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to anyone who's watching this video. But today I am going to be doing is talking about the bosses of Elden Ring, or more specifically, bosses with remembrances. There's going to be spoilers. So please, if you haven't played the game, play it, please. I beg of thee, play the game. It is very, very good. Okay. So, we're going to be talking about, or I am going to talk about Elden Ring's bosses. Starting from, well, let's begin then. So, I don't know if this is going to be counting as whispering, and also, in the way, I shall be doing some hand sounds as well, just fluttering most of the time. So, now, the first boss, the first remembrance we can get in the game, well, if we go through the actual, Stormvale Castle and all that, and don't skip, we shall be getting the remembrance of the Grafted. Probably, well, one of my favorite bosses, lore-wise, and also just, well, his weapons. It's just cool. Really, he's, in my opinion, weaker than Margit, because Margit is the god of delays, and he just destroys me easily, So, after I defeated Margit, I fought Godric, and it took me 3 tries. It was pretty easy. His boss theme, his fight in general, what he can do is pretty cool. So I really like him as a boss. And yes, let's read his remembrance, shall we? Sorry. Remembrance of Godric the Grafted, hewn into the Erdtree. A feeble man sought power through the grotesque act of grafting. One day, this is his line. One day we will return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold. Well, I guess that didn't happen, did it? Well, Godric was a very, very memorable boss, and a lot of memes came out of him, which is probably great. He will be forever be remembered in the internet as the dude who screamed, "Bear witness, bear witness." Okay. He was not that strong in my opinion, but he was very rememberable. Remembrance. I really like him. Now, next boss we're going to be talking about is probably one of the most beautiful boss arenas I've ever seen in Elden Ring. Let's talk about now Renala. Kind of a gimmicky boss at first. Well, easy boss in phase 1. Phase 2 was a bit more hectic, with her spamming magic and using ashes to summon one dog's second, a bloodhound knight, forgot what it's called, a bloody giant, and a dragon. Let me do that too. Remembrance of the full moon queen. Very elegant woman. Sadly broke her heart thanks to Radigan. What a disappointment. Now, the power of its namesake can be unlocked. Oh, sorry. In her youth, Renala was a prominent champion who charmed the academy with her lunar magic, becoming its master. She also held the Glintstone Knights and established the House of Caria as royalty. Well, you can say her boss arena in second phase just blew my mind. It was a lake with a full moon. Wonderful indeed. The moon is a very significant, thing in Elden Ring. The stars, the moon. One more thing. Have you seen the sun when it's daylight in Elden Ring? It is really insignificant compared to the moon. When you look at the night sky, you see not a full moon, but you see like a crescent moon. And the moon part that's lit has weird lines and designs on it. I assume that's Rani's great rune carved into the moon itself. But we'll talk about that next time. It's very interesting. But yes, Renala took me 2 tries. Or 3 tries or more. Not that strong in my opinion, but very annoying when you can't get close to her. If you're also a spellcaster, then she might out-damage you. Yes. But that is fine. Now, she was a wonderful boss. Really gave an impression with the map, or the arena. She was great. Now, the Chad of this game. The best dude, the best boy. Radigan. Remembrance of the Star Scourge. This man's lore is insane, and his childhood also is so very wholesome. Man. Let's get into it. Radigan. The Red Lion General wielded gravitational powers, which he learned in Cilia during his younger days. Also, he could never have to abandon his beloved but scrawny steed. He learned gravity magic so he can ride his tiny, scrawny horse, so he doesn't have to abandon it. Or accidentally kill it, because he grew into the boss that he is now. Such wholesome content from an entity that's said to be the strongest demigod of all. Yes, so yes, Star Scourge Radigan, I think, is a very unique boss in Elden Ring, or in all the Souls games, because you, the player, are encouraged to summon not just one, not just 2, but multiple summons. A lot of NPCs, of course, including one of my favorites, Patches, Blythe, and of course, we can't forget Alexander. A few more honorable mentions. Okina, the dude with the goat armor. Leonard? Was it Leonard? Was that the... I forgot. The one that looks like the the one that looks like the Onion Knight armor. And he's using death magic. They all, and yeah, summoning one of those to fight a monster such as Radigan. That was hype, as you would say. And what he did in second phase was probably a nod to Monster Hunter, because the first time I saw it, when he went up to the sky, when he went up to the sky, you just saw something in front of you, coming down. Like Faustrex from Monster Hunter. I'm sure they got that reference from it. It's cool. And also, thanks to that second phase, people found out a very, very funny cheese that you can do in second phase. Literally drowning him in the sea. Well, Radigan got killed by gravity. How ironic. Well, probably my favorite boss, one of my favorite bosses in the game, Radigan. By the way, I'm just looking through the wiki and seeing the remembrances and trying to recollect my memories of when I fought these guys. Now, this boss is also pretty interesting. Remembrance of the regal ancestor. The reindeer-looking boss, undead. Yeah, it really looks like an undead reindeer. First impressions with this guy. Very nice BGM, or theme, boss theme. Soothing, nothing too aggressive. It was very calming, actually, and the movements of the boss itself was not too aggressive at some points. It will do the antler stab, it will stab you with the antlers, but when it's jumping in the air, and then the slam, when it's jumping in the air, it was pretty good. It was combined with the theme, the song, or the music, it was pretty good. I really liked it. Nothing too special, but it was, I don't know, I really liked it. Now, let's read. Ancestral spirits exist as a phenomenon beyond the purview of the earth tree. Life sprouts from death as it does from birth. Such is the way of the living. I'm not really that smart, so I don't really get it, but well, beyond the purview of the earth tree, life sprouts from death. Actually, yes, never mind. As it does from birth, such is the way of the living. Ghosts are born as you can be born as mortal. Ghosts also born. That's why there's a lot of spirit animals in that boss area. While the boss sucks their souls and regens damn health. It took me a long time to kill this thing because it just keeps sucking HP from all its surroundings. But it was very, very cool. Next, one of my anticipated bosses when I found it. It was really amazing. When the, what was it called? The launch trailer for Elden Ring came out, I saw a weird, like, Bloodborne-esque boss monster. And it was Astel, natural born of the void. When I saw that he was using gravity magic on you, and he looked like a combination of planets a dragonfly and a human skull. It was disgusting, but also very, very Bloodborne, Great One vibes. Was very strong. So I was really interested when I finally saw him while I was doing Rani's questline. It did not disappoint. It was really, really interesting and good. Now, ow, that hit my head. Sorry. Let's read the remembrance. The power of its namesake can be unlocked. Oh, not that one. I'm sorry. A malformed star, born in the flightless void far away, once destroyed an eternal city and took away their sky. Unfalling star of ill omen. The lore of this is actually very interesting. Nokron, the eternal city, or the other city, I forgot what it's called. The Nox people, they were, so their power came from the stars above. And Marika saw that and yes, this is going to be very dangerous. They can have the same power as I, or more power than me. So they banished the Nox underground and sealed them away, cutting them from the power source, the stars above. And then the Nox now, lost their power. They made fake stars underground. It looks really beautiful, but it was all fake. It was all fake. And so they thought about it. Gravity magic. And what would be great if we can't see the stars, but we get the stars to us. And they use gravity magic and stuff, and they accidentally summoned not a star, but Astel, natural born of the void. And that is the reason they got wrecked hard. They accidentally spawned him, and the eternal cities got destroyed. Foolishness, Dante. I serve under Lady Rani. Okay, sorry. But yes, that is pretty sad ending to the Nox. And also Astel's boss fight. The first time you go in and you see his mouth shine. And what's that? And when you think about it, what's that? You get lasered. And I'm like, oh no, it's one of these bosses. Very annoying ones. Help me. But Astel's pretty easy. Except for the grab attack. A couple of times you will be grabbed and probably one-shotted. That wasn't fun. But it was a boss fight that I was waiting to find because I saw it in the official launch trailer. When I found him, I was so excited. Next, probably my favorite boss, just for the voice acting. Radigan, the Lord of Blasphemy. Oh, this man is something. Oh, gave a great impression. Unbelievable. Now, also, I saw this snake in the official launch trailer. And the snake had some sort of blood arms coming out of it, little tendrils. And then the snake's head was upside down. When the head slowly came up, it was upside down. So I'm like, what is this boss? And then it was Rykard. His voice when he talks gave chills, man. Yes, but his voice acting just made him like everyone's favorite boss in the game. Just for that. Let's read. Rykard took the form of a giant serpent that he might devour. grow and live eternally. I understand the road of blasphemy is long and perilous. One cannot walk it unprepared to sin. Yes, the law of this man is very interesting as well. Small thing. Lady Tanith, the one who was kind of the leader of the Volcano Man faction. Rykard found her in a different country, a different place, as a dancer, recruited her, and now she is infatuated with such magnificence. Rykard. That's a very interesting thing. Thank you, Patches. He gave me the hint. But, yes, Rykard as a boss itself. It was easy, because you used the Serpent Hunt weapon, which is a gimmick weapon. And, but you know, the fight itself was pretty cinematic, pretty wacky, intense action, and I just didn't want it to end. So it took me a couple of tries. I just didn't want it to end. I just want to keep fighting him. But eventually, I had to finish him off. So, yeah, he's a fun boss to fight. And one of the easiest. Now. As I have said, Margit. It's actually Morgoth, the Omen King. Now let's talk about him. Remembrance of the Omen King. This man, graceless, tarnished. This man is just magnificent. If you find in the dictionary the word badass, he is probably written on it. His resolve is insane. He was born royalty, but he was born as an omen. So he got shoved down into the pits of the sewers in Lindell. But eventually escapes. And he did not hate the reason. Well, he was pained about, him being trapped there, but still, as the son of Godfrey and Marika, even though he was trapped, thrown away, and never loved, he gave love, even though he didn't receive any. He became the protector of the Erd Tree, the unseen ruler of Lindell. He fights in the shadows, makes a name for himself, Margit, instead of Morgoth. So no one would know that he was actually an omen. Everyone hated omens. Everyone. Especially in the capital of Lindell. If they found out Morgoth was actually an omen, man, their image of their lord would immediately flip. Immediately. Loving them and then hating them. So he hid himself, so he will rule. But at least his appearance and all that will be anonymous. The protector of the Erd Tree, he once destroyed more. He just fucking destroyed Radigan when he was still, normal size. Well, he's just an amazing boss. Now, let's read. Though born one of the graceless omen, Morgoth took it upon himself to become the Erd Tree's protector. He loved not in return, for he was never loved, but nevertheless, love it he did. Yes. What an amazing character. badass too, don't forget. Now, let's now talk about his brother. His twin. The Lord of Blood. Moog. Oh, Moog. Moog. I don't know. But this man is very, well, very sus. I'm sorry. But Moog. Fighting him. Same impressions as Morgoth or Margit. His attacks are very delayed, and he would roll faster than you would roll, and he will hit you. He was very hard. He was very hard, but he was very hard, but like any boss, a tarnished can overcome anything. Yes, so lore about this man, well, I'm forgetting a lot of words, and it's a bit complicated. I'm just gonna say, Chris Hansen is gonna be on his ass. But why did you take Mikola? Why? Did you get infatuated by his powers, Mikola has, an ability to pretty much make people infatuated about him, making them serve him and stuff. It's an item description of the knights in the Halig tree, so, but oh well. Moog. Wishing to raise Mikola to full godhood, Moog wished to become his consort, taking the role of monarch. But no matter how much of his bloody bedchamber he tried to share, he received no response from the young Empyrean. Mikola. He doesn't have a remembrance, but his name is in a lot of items in Elden Ring. Weapons, consumables, armor, it's everywhere. And probably my favorite demigod / Empyrean, because we don't know, literally, we know very little about him. And I hope he's going to be in DLC. Speaking of Mikola, his sister. His sister, Malenia. We all know her name. Yes, we all got our ass beat. She is just something insane. Eventually, it took me probably 50 tries before I defeated her. Tried her with a lot of different weapons. Took me a long time, but eventually beat her. The journey was long. Victory felt sweet. She was so hard to fight. But now, let's read. Mikola and Malenia are both the children of a single god, aka Empyrean. As such, they are both Empyreans, but suffered afflictions from birth. One was cursed with eternal youth, Mikola, and the other harbored rot within. How would it actually feel? You getting eaten inside by some weird rot fungus, losing your right arm, losing practically your entire body, her legs, her eyes, she's blind. It's insane. Malenia, nothing to say about her, just she is a very hard boss fight, but also probably the most You know, when you fought her. Probably the most satisfying fight after you beat her, really. No more, no less. I'm gonna continue and just... We're almost done with the bosses with remembrances. Now let's go. A thing that's related to Godwin, the Golden, the Prince of Death, the Death Prince, the one who lives in death. This man, this dragon, Lich Dragon Fortisax. This man is just cool. It's a cool dragon that uses death lightning. What can you say? Well, he had the same skeleton as any other, like Landsax, or the other, like, ancient dragons. Same skeleton, same moveset. Oh, actually, there's a couple of different ones, but no matter. Most of it's the same, but it's just the lore, a bit of the lore, and some new movesets just makes him really memorable. Let's read. After Godwin the Golden became the Prince of Death, the ancient dragon fought long and hard against the death within its companion. Alas, victory was never achieved, and only reward was corruption. Yes, death became a part of him. Sadly, he can never fully eat away at death, or fought off death from his former friend, which is Godwin. Really nothing to talk about, really. Well, you can say his incantations are really cool. And strong, too. I'm losing things to talk about. Now, the difficulty spike increased when I saw this boss, the Fire Giant. This man's HP pool was just insane at the time when I first fought him. Just insane. But the Fire Giant. It took me I have a few problems with this boss because, one, the camera was literally the thing that was killing me. It was hard to see him do his attacks. I had to look at his feet and small body movements so I can realize, like, oh, he's gonna do this attack and stuff. So he was a very hard to read boss because you were literally looking at his feet. Everything else is, out of the camera. It was hard. Second phase 2 was also a problem. It was very hard to hit his hands. Not hit anything else. Because of the camera just moving everywhere. But let's read this. The Fire Giant is a survivor of the war against the giants. Upon realizing the flame of their forge would never die, Queen Marika mocked him with a curse. A trifling giant, mayest thou tend thy flame for eternity. Literally, leaving only one giant left for him to suffer for eternity, tending the flames and burning himself, and yeah, that's how his leg got broken. He was literally getting eaten inside by flame, getting weaker, and then eventually it snapped. And that's, yes. I always skip now the second phase because I always see his leg getting torn off by him. And also the bending of the leg. It was just painful. Oh, painful. But yes, this is the boss that I felt. The difficulty spike just went a little bit up. Had a lot of 4 left. Now, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Dragon Lord. It's either Placidusax, or as I like to pronounce it, Placidusax. First impressions of this man. Boss Dragon. Literally King Ghidorah from the Kaiju series, Godzilla and all of them. He shoots fire, yes, understandable, he's a dragon. And then he shoots lasers. Also, this man's a hidden boss, so optional. But also, this man has so much HP. Bleed and Frost works with him, but for Bleed, it's going to take forever. Frost, a decent amount of hits, can frostbite him, but this dragon has just so much health. Also, cool new moves. He can turn into mist, goes into the sky, comes back in, reforms himself, slashes you with his lightning claws, or using his huge ass lightning to put in the ground. Viking, you see it vibrate, and then an explosion of lightning nuke. Insane. Now, let's read. The Dragon Lord, whose seat lies at the heart of the storm beyond. Time is said to have been Elden Lord. Time is said to have been Elden Lord in the age before the Erd Tree. Once his god was fled, the Lord continued to wait its return, eternally waiting for your god. And in this game, dragons are very OP. They have the power to rewind time. Yes. Or at least some of them. Dragon Lords, one of them. Very interesting. Now, one of my favorite bosses, and also when the Elden Ring trailer came out, we've seen Malachus the Black Blade before, but we didn't know when we were gonna fight him. This man. The first phase was much harder in my opinion. Or his quick stab. His dagger attacks us so fast, man. Just ridiculous. But overall, oh death, become my blade once more. His voice is just so cool. Now, let's see. A lot of lore I want to talk about, but maybe next time. Malachus was a shadow-bound beast given to his Empyrean. Malachus' sole need of her shadow was a vessel to lock away destined death. Even then, she betrayed him. Malachus was actually supposed to just be a shadow of America. The half-brother, protector, follower, and a person that would listen to America to whatever she needs to do. And that's what he did. He followed her orders. Getting the rune of death. Coveting it. That's what he did. And made Malachus suffer for a long time after you find him. He is loyal throughout the game, 100% to America. So kind of like Blythe and Ronnie's relationship, I guess. Now, the complete biggest Chad in Elden Ring. Godfrey the First Elden Lord. His boss fight, Horlu, is something. A badass old man with a dragon a lion stand in his back, using a big axe. And then he throws away the axe and the lion, poor Sorosh, and becomes a freaking fighting game character. The one who spams grabs and hell sweeps. What an insane. Well, you fought him as a spirit once, but in his actual fight he gets new moves. You get caught off guard, you get demolished with his huge ass ground AoE explosions. And then we have Horaloo, the complete psychopathic maniac berserker type character he just switched to, and he just wrecks you. Too much grab attacks, but I do not mind. Now let's read. When Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was robbed of his grace, becoming tarnished, he took with him his kinfolk and left the lands between. After the long march of the tarnished came to an end, Godfrey divested himself of kinship, becoming a simple warrior once more. Very, very strong boss. Very strong boss. I wish we saw a bit of Sorosh action. You get me? When the cutscene came, when the second phase cutscene came out, we saw Sorosh. Pretty much, he's becoming more physical. You just see his white, misty self disappear, and actually his physical body slowly comes out. I was like, we're gonna fight the lion. But no, Godfrey ripped him off. No. Why would you do that, Godfrey? Why? And I found out that Sorosh was actually holding, Godfrey back. Godfrey was just an insane man, crazy bloodlust. And to suppress that, Sorosh was in his back. So it was kind of a shackle. And when you fought Godfrey, he realized he's not going to beat you unless he uses his full power. What an anime protagonist. Now, last but not least, Radigan and the Elden Beast. First impressions, first phase, Radigan. My first playthrough, I got through him pretty fast because I was using the Mimic tier when it came out, and it was, Mimic tier didn't have any nerfs at the time. It was just superb, very strong OP, and he helped me go through Radigan. And then after that, Elden Beast. A bit of delays, but it was actually pretty fine, pretty easy until the annoying Elden Stars incantation that he uses distracts you and just until it explodes. So that was very annoying. And thanks to that, thanks to Radigan for making me drink all of my HP flasks. When Elden Ring whips out the Elden Stars, I'm screwed. It was like the most horrible combo ever. Now, the Elden Beast. Let's read. It was a vassal. Beast of the greater will, and living incarnation of the concept of order. It was the vassal beast of the greater will. Is the text wrong? Maybe not. But, well, that is all of the remembrance. It was an insane game. How did you like Elden Ring? Was it great? Have you finished it? Got all the endings? Or did you just start and you're still going through? And if you heard my ramblings tonight, I'm sorry, that might be a spoiler. But, well, let's turn on the lights. thank you so much for watching and listening. My videos are mainly for just listening to my voice, closing your eyes while you listen about lore and stuff. That's my type of video, but I finally now found a setup to, well, record. I can just switch the lights like this and stuff. Make it brighter, make it pretty good. So, well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good night sleep. Enjoy. And I'll see you next time on Elden Ring when we play it. Maybe.